Good day. It is June 30th. It is also my wife's and I's wedding anniversary. We've been married 12,784 days, or 35 years if that's the way you prefer it, in a row. But today we're going to do Judges 11, 11 through 13, and Proverbs 30. Remember, if you'd like to be tagged when I post these videos, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, or anything else, you may reach me through 810-242-2997. That's 810-242-2997. You can call, text, leave a message, whichever you like. Begin Judges 11, starting at verse 11. So Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him their ruler and commander of the army. At Mizpah, in the presence of Yahweh, Jephthah repeated what he had said to the elders. 12. Then Jephthah sent messengers to the king of Ammon, asking, "Why have you come to fight against my land?" 13. The king of Ammon answered Jephthah's messengers, "When the Israelites came out of Egypt, they stole my land, from the Arnon River to the Jabbok River, and all the way to the Jordan. Now then, give me back the land peacefully." So Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him their ruler and commander of the army. He's confirming this. At Mizpah, in the presence of Yahweh, Jephthah repeated what he had said to the elders. Yep, he's confirming it, making sure everyone knows what's up. There's no hanky-panky or underhanded things going on. Then Jephthah sent messengers to the king of Ammon, asking, "Why have you come to fight against my land?" He's trying to negotiate, get a peaceful solution. Verse 13. The king of Ammon answered Jephthah's messengers, "When the Israelites came out of Egypt, they stole my land from the Arnon River to the Jabbok River and all the way to the Jordan. Now, give me back the land peacefully." And he's going, "Here's what I want, and that's why I want it. What's your answer?" Now we're on Proverbs 30. The word of Agar, the son of Jekah, the burden the man said to Ithiel and Ukal, unto Ithiel and Ukal, "Surely I am brutish, unlike a man, and I have not the understanding of a man." That means he's like an animal, just going on instinct and reaction. Doesn't plan, doesn't bother to learn, just whatever comes into his mind, that's what he does. "And I have not learned wisdom, that I should have the knowledge of the Holy One," or the Kadosh. He didn't learn anything about God. "For who ascended up into heaven and descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fist? Who has bound the waters in his garments? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou knowest?" In other words, who's gotten all the instructions? How do we get it? 5. Every word of Eloah is true. He is a shield unto them that take refuge. His word is tested. His word is perfect, and he will protect those who trust in him. 6. Add not unto thy words, lest he reprove thee and be found a liar. Don't add to God's word. He doesn't like it. 7. Two things I have asked of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me the falsehoods and lies. In other words, don't let me lie. Lest I give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with thine allotted bread. In other words, our Father who art in heaven, give us this day our daily bread. Lest I be full and deny and say, "Who is Yahweh?" In other words, I get full, get rich, and say, "Wow, what do I have of God?" Or I be poor and steal and profane the name of my Elohim. We're not supposed to steal, but I do understand, and God does understand, if you have to steal to live. Slander not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee and be found guilty. 11. There is a generation that curse their father and do not bless their mother. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet are not washed for their filthiness. In other words, they think they're all that in a bag of chips, and they're not even air in the bag of chips. There's a generation how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. They're so proud and arrogant. 14. There's a generation whose teeth are as swords, and great teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. They're getting rid of the poor and needy, but not in a good way. They're destroying them, and they think they're doing good. 15. The horse leeches 2 daughters. Give. There are three things which are never satisfied, yea, 4 that say not enough. The grave and the barren womb, the earth that is not satisfied with water, and the fire that saith not enough. There are things that just, no matter what you do, you can't please them. Can't please some people. 17. The eye that mocketh his father and despises obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pluck it out, and the young vulture shall eat it. 18. There are 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent on the rock, and the way of a ship in the midst of the sea. He doesn't understand how they can move and glide and all that the way they do. And there's one other thing he can't understand. And the way of a man with a young woman, so is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. In other words, she does all this wickedness, and she says, nope, I didn't do it. He doesn't understand how she can be like that. 21. For 3 things the earth doth quake, and for 4 cannot endure. The servant for a servant when he reigneth, and the churl when he filled with food, odious woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress. These are things that are just out of place. 24. There are 4 things which are little upon the earth, but are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they provide their food in the summer. They get it while it's there, and save it. 26. The rock badgers are but a feeble folk, yet they make their houses in the crags. They're weak or feeble, and they live in the rocks. 27. The locusts have no king, yet they go forth all by bands, and the spider that thou can take in the hands, she is in the king's palace. 29. There are 3 things which are stately in their march, yea, 4 which are stately in their going. The lion, which is the mightiest among beasts, that turneth not away for any. The greyhound, the he-goat also, and the king against whom there is no uprising. 32. If thou hast done foolishly and lifted thyself up, bragging, or thou hast planned devices, schemed, lay your hand on your mouth, shut up. For the churning of milk bringeth forth curd, and the wringing of the nose bringeth forth blood, so the forcing of wrath bringeth forth strife. You get what you get. These are things that are naturally occurring. You do this, that naturally will happen. Hope you've been blessed by this reading. May the Lord richly bless you. Remember, if you'd like to be tagged when I post these videos, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, or anything else, you may reach me through 810-242-2997. That's 810-242-2997. You can call, text, leave a message, whichever you like. Remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I.